Ben & Jerry's churns out nearly 1 million pints of ice cream every single day, enough to fill over 15 Olympic-sized swimming pools daily. Served in over 35 countries, these iconic flavors are packed with giant chunks and swirls. Ever wonder how this creamy magic is made? Let's dive into the scoop behind the scenes. Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield grew up in Merrick, New York, a small town on Long Island's South Shore. The two met in junior high gym class in 1963, where, according to company lore, they were the slowest and fattest kids on the track. Naturally, they bonded while lagging behind the rest of their classmates, forging a friendship that would eventually lead to something much sweeter than their shared struggles in gym class. After high school, they pursued separate paths. Jerry went to Oberlin College on a pre-med track, but after being rejected by all the medical schools he applied to, he found himself back at square one. Ben briefly attended Colgate University but dropped out during his sophomore year to become a potter. When his pottery business didn't succeed, Ben took on various odd jobs to make ends meet. By 1977, the two friends reunited and decided to start a business together. Initially, they wanted to open a bagel shop in Burlington, Vermont, but bagel-making equipment was beyond their budget. So they pivoted and took a $5 ice cream making course at Penn State University. With their newfound skills, they scraped together $122,000, including a $4,000 bank loan, and transformed a rundown gas station into their first ice cream shop. In May 1978, Ben & Jerry's opened its doors. Since Ben has anosmia, a condition that limits his sense of taste and smell, Jerry took charge of designing their flavors to ensure Ben could still enjoy their ice cream. Jerry loaded the flavors with large chunks and swirls, creating the iconic stuffed style Ben & Jerry's is known for. Their first year was a success, and by 1979, they had become an exclusive ice cream shop and launched the first ever free cone day to thank the community. Ben & Jerry's quickly grew, and within a few years, it became a beloved name in the ice cream world. Here's how every pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream gets its start. It all begins with top-notch ingredients from trusted suppliers around the globe. But the star of the show? Fresh milk from local Vermont farms, thanks to the St. Albans Cooperative. The milk doesn't have to travel far. It takes a quick trip down the road to the factory, where it's stored in massive 6,000-gallon silos. Yep, we're talking big. Once it's inside the factory, the milk teams up with cream and sugar in a giant tank, where they're mixed together to create the base for every delicious flavor. But hey, it's not just about the dairy. Ben & Jerry's partners with over 250 farms worldwide to source the very best ingredients. For instance, their vanilla beans come straight from small farmers in Madagascar, and the cocoa for their rich chocolatey flavors comes from West Africa. And don't worry, the company makes sure all these farmers are paid fairly for their hard work. Even the brownies and fan favorites like chocolate fudge brownie are special. They're baked by Grayston Bakery in New York, a place that helps folks who've struggled to find work get back on their feet. So every scoop you take isn't just packed with flavor, it's packed with purpose. The process begins with fresh milk and cream from local Vermont farms, where Ben & Jerry's has long-standing partnerships through their Caring Dairy program. This program ensures cows are treated humanely, and sustainable farming practices are used. The quality of the milk is essential to making great ice cream, so the milk is quickly transported to the factory after it's collected. When the milk arrives at the factory, it goes through a series of quality checks, including tests for fat content and temperature. After passing inspection, it's pumped into huge 6,000-gallon silos, which are massive stainless steel tanks designed to keep the milk cold and fresh. These silos maintain a steady low temperature to prevent spoiling and ensure that the milk is always ready for the next stage of production. After the milk is stored in the silos, it's time to move into the blend tank, where the real magic of ice cream creation begins. The milk is combined with fresh cream, sugar, and other basic ingredients like egg yolks for specific flavors. These ingredients are carefully measured and added to create a rich, smooth base that serves as the foundation for all Ben & Jerry's ice cream. The blend tank is a large stainless steel vessel equipped with powerful mixing arms that churn the ingredients together, ensuring a smooth, even mixture. Ben & Jerry's uses two primary ice cream bases. The first is the sweet cream base, which is used for most of their iconic flavors like vanilla, fish food, and half-baked. The second is a chocolate base, which is used for chocolate-based flavors like chocolate therapy. If it's a chocolate flavor, this is where cocoa powder is added, creating a deep, rich chocolate taste. The churning process in the blend tank is key to creating the creamy, silky texture that fans love. By constantly mixing the ingredients, the tank ensures that every drop of the base is consistent in flavor and texture, setting the stage for the next steps in the ice cream making process. Once the ice cream base is mixed in the blend tank, it's time for a crucial step: pasteurization. The mixture is piped into the pasteurizer, a machine designed to quickly heat the mix to a high temperature to kill any harmful bacteria. This process ensures the ice cream is safe to eat while maintaining its high-quality ingredients. The pasteurizer uses hot steel plates to heat the mix swiftly without cooking it, a technique that protects the flavor and texture of the ice cream base. During this step, the mixture reaches temperatures of around 180 degrees Fahrenheit for just a short amount of time before it's rapidly cooled down. This flash heating process is what makes the pasteurizer so effective, allowing the mixture to be pasteurized without altering its taste or creamy consistency. After heating, the base is immediately chilled back to a safe, cold temperature and transferred to a holding tank. In the holding tank, the base rests for 4 to 8 hours. This resting time isn't just for safety, it's also when the ingredients really come together. The flavors meld, deepen and balance, creating the rich, smooth base that will later be infused with flavors, chunks and swirls to make each pint of Ben & Jerry's. After the ice cream base has rested and the ingredients have fully blended, it's time to add the flavors that make Ben & Jerry's ice cream unique. The base is pumped into one of the factory's 20 flavor vats, where the magic of flavor infusion happens. These vats are large, high-tech tanks designed to evenly incorporate a wide variety of ingredients like vanilla extract, mint, fruit purees or coffee depending on the recipe. Each flavor vat is equipped with powerful mixing mechanisms that ensure the flavorings are evenly distributed throughout the ice cream base. This step is crucial for maintaining the consistency and quality of each batch, so whether it's a subtle vanilla flavor or a bold mint, every pint has the perfect balance of taste. The variety of flavor vats allows Ben & Jerry's to create multiple batches of different flavors simultaneously. Hundreds of flavor combinations are experimented with each year, but only a select few make it to your freezer. The flavor vats also allow for precise control over the ingredients. Whether it's a fruity flavor or a rich caramel swirl, everything is blended to perfection at this stage, laying the groundwork for the chunks and swirls that will come later. Here's where the ice cream making process starts to get really cool, literally. Once the flavored base is ready, it's pumped into the freezing barrel, the machine responsible for transforming the liquid mixture into ice cream. This is a critical step because it's where the base starts to solidify into that smooth, creamy texture we all know and love. The freezing barrel works by rapidly lowering the temperature of the mix as it churns inside. The liquid base is cooled down to below freezing temperatures in a matter of seconds. The constant churning action not only cools the mixture but also introduces air, creating that light, fluffy texture that gives Ben & Jerry's its signature creamy mouthfeel. When the mixture comes out of the freezing barrel, it's at the perfect consistency. Cold, but still soft and pliable, like soft-serve ice cream. At this stage, it's thick enough to hold its form, but still soft enough to allow for the next crucial step, the addition of Ben & Jerry's famous chunks and swirls. This semi-solid state is ideal for mixing in those big pieces of cookie dough, brownie bites, or fudge chunks without damaging their texture. Now comes the part that makes Ben & Jerry's truly iconic, adding the chunks. Whether it's big pieces of cookie dough, brownie bites, chocolate chunks, or peanut butter cups, these mix-ins are a key feature of the brand's ice cream. This is done with the help of a machine called the chunk feeder, which plays a crucial role in making sure every pint is packed with those generous, mouth-watering pieces. Workers load the chunk feeder by dumping in the add-ins, ensuring there's plenty of goodness to go around. The chunk feeder is designed to evenly distribute these mix-ins throughout the ice cream, ensuring that every scoop has just the right balance of creamy base and chunky goodness. The machine mixes the chunks carefully so they don't get crushed, preserving their texture and size, a critical detail because Ben & Jerry's is famous for having some of the biggest chunks in the ice cream world. Once the ice cream is perfectly mixed and packed with chunks, it moves on to the next step, getting into the iconic pint containers. This is where the automatic filler comes into play. The automatic filler is a high-speed machine that pumps the ice cream into pint containers with precision and efficiency. It's a marvel of engineering. capable of filling up to 270 pints per minute, ensuring that the factory can keep up with the massive demand for Ben & Jerry's ice cream. As the semi-solid ice cream flows into the filler, it is portioned out perfectly, ensuring that each pint gets just the right amount of creamy goodness in chunks. This machine is designed for accuracy, so every pint that rolls off the line is consistent in weight and volume. The chunks mixed evenly throughout the ice cream by the chunk feeder are distributed beautifully, so that every scoop delivers the perfect balance of flavor and texture. Once filled, the pints move along the line to the lidding machine, which swiftly places and seals the lids on each pint. This ensures the ice cream is securely sealed and ready for its next journey. After the pints are sealed, they're inspected for quality and sent off for further freezing, locking in freshness before they head to stores. Even though state-of-the-art machines handle much of the production process, Ben & Jerry's is serious about maintaining the quality that fans expect. That's where quality control comes in, a vital step to ensure that every pint is perfect. Every hour, trained workers pull 6 pints off the production line to test for consistency in several key areas like chunk distribution, weight, and air bubbles. These pints undergo a thorough inspection. First, workers weigh each pint to ensure it meets the required amount of ice cream. If a pint is underfilled, it's flagged for correction. Then, the workers cut open the pints to visually inspect the contents. They're looking to see that the famous chunks, swirls, and other mix-ins are evenly spread throughout the pint, so every scoop delivers the intended flavor experience. They also check for air bubbles, which can affect the texture and quality of the ice cream. Once the pints are filled, sealed, and quality checked, they still aren't quite ready for your freezer. The ice cream needs to be brought to its perfect scoopable consistency, and that requires one last critical step, the spiral hardener. This machine is a massive corkscrew-shaped conveyor belt housed inside an industrial freezer that's chilled to an icy -60 degrees Fahrenheit. The pints are carefully placed on the spiral hardener, where they are rapidly frozen to lock in that perfect texture and flavor. Spiral hardener. The spiral hardener conveyor belt where they slowly make their way through the freezer. The corkscrew design allows the pints to take their time, about 3 hours in this ultra-cold environment, ensuring that the ice cream hardens evenly. As they spiral upward, the ice cream gradually cools down to its ideal storage temperature of -10 degrees Fahrenheit. This process locks in the creamy texture and ensures that the chunks and mix-ins maintain their integrity. Too fast of a freeze might damage the texture, but the spiral hardener allows for a slow, steady cooling that preserves the ice cream's rich, smooth quality. By the time the pints emerge from the hardener, they've reached the perfect temperature and consistency, ready for packaging and shipping to grocery stores, where they'll eventually make their way to your freezer. After the ice cream has reached its perfect frozen state in the spiral hardener, it's time for the final step, packaging and shipping. The freshly frozen pints are carefully grouped together, with 8 pints making up a standard package. These groups are then shrink-wrapped to ensure they stay secure during transit. The wrapping process is automated, quick, and ensures that each package is tightly sealed to protect the ice cream during its journey to stores. Once shrink-wrapped, the pints are stacked onto large pallets. These pallets are organized and loaded with precision, ensuring they can be easily transported while maintaining the cold temperature required to keep the ice cream frozen. The factory's shipping team works efficiently to ensure that thousands of pints are ready for distribution each day. From there, the pallets are loaded into refrigerated trucks, designed to keep the pints at the necessary freezing temperatures during transit. These trucks then deliver the ice cream to distribution centers and freezers around the world. Whether the pints are headed to your local grocery store, an ice cream shop, or even another country, Ben & Jerry's packaging and shipping process ensures that the ice cream remains just as fresh, creamy, and delicious as it was when it left the factory. And that's the scoop on how Ben & Jerry's went from a small shop in Vermont to a global ice cream icon, all while making a positive impact around the world. So next time you're enjoying your favorite flavor, you'll know there's more to it than just great taste. Rainbow cake sprinkles. The average American consumes about 22 pounds of candy, including sprinkles on their favorite desserts. With sprinkles being so popular across the US, have you ever wondered what goes into making these tiny, colorful treats? Rainbow cake sprinkles, those colorful and sweet decorations that brighten up everything from cakes to donuts, might seem simple, but they are a careful mix of food making and creativity. Sprinkles, called hundreds and thousands in the UK and jimmies in some parts of the US, have different names in various places. These small, bright pieces can quickly change the look and feel of a dessert, making it festive and fun. But how are these tiny treats made in factories? While they are easy to use, the way they are made involves science, accuracy, and a lot of care. The making of rainbow cake sprinkles happens in several steps, each made to ensure the final product is colorful, even in size, and crunchy. Here's a simple look at how factories turn basic ingredients into the sprinkles we all know and love. The first step in making rainbow sprinkles is preparing the base mix. The main ingredients are sugar, shortening, a type of fat, water, and starch. These are mixed together to form a thick, paste-like dough. The choice of ingredients is important for how the sprinkles will feel and taste. For example, sugar gives the sprinkles their sweetness and structure, while shortening helps make the dough smooth and easier to work with. Some sprinkles use a special type of cornstarch to help them last longer, while still keeping that familiar crunch. Once the basic dough is ready, food coloring is added. Since rainbow sprinkles need many colors, usually red, yellow, green, blue, purple, and sometimes orange, the dough is split into different parts, each getting its own color. High-quality food coloring is important to make sure the colors stay bright and don't fade during the next steps. Factories might also add flavors at this point, though many sprinkles are just sweet without any specific flavor. In the past, natural colors like beet juice and turmeric were used to color sprinkles. Today, most factories use approved artificial colors for better consistency and lower cost. The colored dough is then put into extrusion machines. Extrusion is an important step where the dough is pushed through small nozzles, shaping it into long, thin strands that look like spaghetti. The size of the nozzle openings controls how thick the sprinkles will be. For traditional jimmies, the nozzles are narrow, while for other brands, different machines and molds are used. Extrusion machines work very fast, handling large amounts of dough at once. This process makes sure that each sprinkle is the same size and shape. The dough strands are carefully placed on a moving belt where they go to the next step in production. The process of making sprinkles is similar to making pasta, where dough is pushed through molds to create different shapes. After the dough is shaped into long strands, the next step is to cut these strands into small pieces. This is done by fast-moving blades placed along the conveyor belt. As the dough strands pass by, the blades chop them into tiny pieces, which become the sprinkles. Factories make sure the cutting process is fast and efficient to stop the dough from drying out before it takes its final shape. For long, tube-like sprinkles, the dough is cut into short, even pieces, usually just a few millimeters long. For nonpareils, the small, round sprinkles, the dough is rolled into tiny balls instead of being cut. This step must be very precise because if the dough isn't cut properly, the sprinkles can lose their shape, which would affect how they look and feel. In large factories, up to 100,000 sprinkles can be cut every minute, allowing for fast production to meet global demand. Once the dough has been cut into sprinkles, the pieces are still soft and can be shaped easily. To give them the crunchy texture we expect from sprinkles, they need to be dried completely. The sprinkles are moved into large drying rooms where warm air is blown over them in a controlled way. This drying process usually takes several hours, depending on the size and thickness of the sprinkles. The purpose of drying is to remove water from the sprinkles while keeping their shape. This helps make sure the sprinkles won't become sticky or stick together during packaging. Proper drying is also important to create the hard, crunchy texture that sprinkles are known for. Factories carefully control the temperature and moisture levels during this process to prevent overheating or not drying the sprinkles enough. The drying process can take up to 8 hours in large ovens, and the sprinkles are constantly rotated to make sure they dry evenly. After drying, the sprinkles may go through a polishing step. This step involves gently tumbling the sprinkles with a thin layer of sugar or a glaze made from sugar and water. The polishing process makes the sprinkles look shiny and smooth. It also adds a final layer of sweetness and helps prevent the sprinkles from becoming sticky. This step is especially important for sprinkles used on desserts with a lot of moisture, like ice cream, to help them stay firm and keep their shape. Polishing machines work by rotating large batches of sprinkles in large containers while slowly adding the polishing solution. The sprinkles are spun for a set amount of time, allowing the coating to spread evenly over all the pieces. Some special types of sprinkles are covered with edible glitter or pearl dust to give them a sparkling finish, often used in fancy bakeries and dessert shops. Before being packaged, sprinkles go through a quality control check. Automated machines scan the sprinkles to check for defects like unusual shapes or wrong colors. Any sprinkles that don't meet the factory standards are taken out. The rest are sent to packaging machines where they are packed into containers, bags, or large boxes depending on how they will be used. Some sprinkles are also tested for color bleed, a check to make sure their bright colors won't fade or run too quickly when used on frosting or ice cream. For retail products, sprinkles are usually packed in small plastic containers or jars that are sealed to keep moisture out. For larger buyers like bakeries and ice cream shops, sprinkles are packed in bigger bags or boxes. The packaging is made to keep the sprinkles fresh, making sure they stay crunchy and look good until they are used. While sprinkles are now common in the dessert world, their history goes back to 18th century France, where candy makers started experimenting with sugar decorations for pastries. These early sprinkles were used to add both texture and visual appeal to desserts. The production of rainbow cake sprinkles is a fascinating blend of art and science. Each step in the process is carefully designed to ensure the final product is not only visually appealing, but also delicious and crunchy. From mixing the base ingredients to adding vibrant colors, and from shaping the dough into tiny pieces to drying and polishing them, every stage requires precision and attention to detail. Factories use advanced machinery and technology to produce sprinkles efficiently, meeting the high demand from consumers and businesses alike. The end result is a delightful treat that adds a burst of color and sweetness to any dessert, making every bite a little more special. The journey of rainbow cake sprinkles from 18th century France to modern-day factories is a testament to human creativity and innovation. These tiny, colorful decorations have evolved from simple sugar decorations to a staple in the dessert world, loved by people of all ages. Whether they're used to add flair to a birthday cake, a touch of fun to a donut, or a sprinkle of joy to an ice cream cone, sprinkles have a unique way of making desserts more enjoyable. So, the next time you enjoy a treat adorned with these colorful bits, you'll know a little more about the intricate process that brings them to your plate. Thanks for joining us on this sweet journey. Jimmies and color to sweet treats over time. This practice of decorating sweets with small sugar pieces spread across Europe and eventually reached the United States. In the beginning, sprinkles were made by hand, which took a lot of time and effort to roll and shape the sugar before modern machines were invented to speed up the process. By the middle of the 20th century, sprinkles had become a popular topping for ice cream and baked goods in America. The term jimmies, commonly used in the northeastern United States for sprinkles, is believed to have started in the 1930s. One popular idea is that the term came from the Just-Born Candy Company, which made sprinkles and other sweets under that name. However, the exact origin of the term jimmies is still unclear and debated. In recent times, sprinkles have gone from being a rare decoration to a regular part of the dessert world. Factories all over the world now make sprinkles in many different colors, shapes, and sizes to meet various baking needs. The use of sprinkles has grown beyond just basic desserts, with fancy bakeries and chefs using them on everything from high-end cupcakes to creative modern desserts. In the Netherlands, chocolate sprinkles called hagelslag are often eaten on bread for breakfast, showing how sprinkles are enjoyed in different ways across various cultures. Though small in size, rainbow cake sprinkles are a perfect example of how art, science, and manufacturing come together. Their bright colors and fun shapes add a sense of celebration to any dessert, but making them is far from simple. From the careful mixing of ingredients to the precise steps of shaping, cutting, drying, and polishing, making sprinkles is a detailed process that ensures they are consistent, high quality, and most importantly, enjoyable. As sprinkles keep changing in style, they remain a popular choice in the baking world. The next time you see those colorful dots on a cake or cupcake, take a moment to think about the detailed process that creates such happiness in these small, bright decorations. Sprinkles have even found their way into art, with some artists using them to make colorful, textured creations. What dessert will you be adding sprinkles to next? Whether it's cupcakes, ice cream, or something else. High-quality matcha can cost up to $200 for just 100 grams. What makes this bright green powder so special, and why do people call it green gold? Matcha has been around for over 1,000 years and is deeply connected to Japanese culture and Zen Buddhism. In the 12th century, samurai warriors drank matcha before battles to help them stay focused and strong. The practice of drinking powdered tea was brought to Japan by a Zen monk named Isai, who brought it from China. At first, matcha was used by monks during meditation to help them concentrate. Over time, the Japanese created their own way of growing and preparing this green tea powder, which led to the Japanese tea ceremony, a special tradition that celebrates the making and drinking of matcha. Today, matcha is loved not just for its cultural importance, but also for its health benefits and unique taste, making it a popular drink around the world. The first step in making matcha is shading the tea leaves before they are picked. In the middle of April, shading begins as the new shoots grow. The tea plants are covered to block out some of the sunlight. This is often done using straw mats or black sheets, which help control how much light the plants get. Shading softens the sunlight on the young leaves, protecting them and helping them make more chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is what gives matcha its bright green color and helps clean the body of toxins. Shading also helps increase the nutrients in the tea. The plants stay in the shade for 30 to 40 days. This long time in the shade is very important because it helps the leaves make more of the good stuff like L-theanine, which gives matcha its rich flavor and reduces the bitterness that other green teas can have. Too much sunlight makes the leaves taste bitter, so keeping them shaded helps preserve their flavor and gives them a bright green color. Shading is usually done for about 3 weeks when making matcha. This also increases the amount of L-theanine, which helps you feel calm and balances the energy from the caffeine. Here we have 2 tea leaves. The one on the left has been shaded, and you can see how its color is different from the one on the right. In early May, when 5 to 6 new leaves have grown, the tea harvest begins. The tea is ready to be picked when the young shoots turn into thin, wide, and bright-colored leaves. Harvesting tea that has been grown in the shade usually starts about 10 days later than tea plants that aren't shaded. For the best quality matcha, the tea leaves are carefully picked by hand, one by one, to make sure they are perfect. Hand picking takes a lot of time and effort, and needs skilled workers who know how to pick the best leaves. This careful selection ensures that only the softest and most flavorful leaves are used, keeping the matcha at the highest quality. Only the top 2 or 3 leaves of the tea plant are picked to make the finest matcha, which helps give it a smooth, sweet flavor. After the tea has been shaded, we're one step closer to understanding how matcha is made. When the tea plant starts to grow fresh green sprouts at the top, the farmer's real work begins. The farmer must then pick the top 2 or 3 leaves from the tea plant to make matcha. These top leaves are the youngest and are known for having a sweeter taste with less bitterness. After these leaves are picked, dried, and ground, they will become the finest matcha. The first step in preparing the leaves is steaming. This steaming, which is unique to Japanese green teas, lasts only about 10 to 20 seconds but is very important to keep the leaves from turning brown and losing their green color and fresh flavor. Steaming locks in the flavor and keeps the bright green color. Most importantly, it stops the leaves from becoming black tea. During this quick steaming process, the action of enzymes in the leaves is stopped, which keeps the tea's natural green color and prevents it from darkening and changing in flavor. The fresh leaves are placed on a moving belt that takes them to a steam room. This quick steam, maybe 10 seconds, stops the leaves from turning brown and helps keep their green color. After steaming, the leaves go into a machine with 4 meshed tubes where they are quickly cooled by the wind. This fast cooling is important to keep the tea's delicate flavors, making sure the freshness and smell of the leaves stay intact before drying. This removes the water from the leaves and gets them ready for the next step, which is drying. The leaves then move slowly through a drying oven, losing almost all of their moisture. These dried, partly processed leaves are called aracha. The leaves are then carefully packed and stored in cool, refrigerated places until they are needed. When it's time to make matcha, only the amount of these partly processed tea leaves that is needed is taken out. In the past, the leaves were stored in clay jars to keep them fresh for a long time. Modern methods have changed, but the goal is still the same: to keep the leaves fresh and full of flavor. In traditional Japanese tea making, these leaves were often stored in cool mountain areas or temples to keep them fresh, showing how valuable they were. The leaves are then chopped to a similar size. After that, machines separate the soft parts of the leaf from the stems and veins. This process is repeated many times until only the soft parts remain. The final product is called tencha, which is then ground into matcha. Once the tencha is ready, we are just one step away from finishing the matcha. The tencha leaves are placed into a stone mill and ground into a fine powder. Each stone mill, made from granite, must be used slowly and carefully to keep the matcha from getting too warm, which could affect its delicate flavors and smells. The grinding process is done very slowly, usually only about 30 grams per hour, to make sure the powder is very fine and keeps its bright color. The grinding room is kept at specific temperatures with controlled humidity and limited light to create the best conditions for grinding. Matcha is full of antioxidants, especially a type called EGCG, Epigallocatechin gallate, which is known for helping to fight cancer. Matcha also naturally boosts energy because it has both caffeine and L-theanine. This combination gives you a calm and focused energy without the jitters that coffee can cause. Additionally, matcha has been linked to better brain function, weight loss, and heart health. Drinking matcha regularly can also help cleanse the body thanks to its high chlorophyll content, which helps remove toxins. Ceremonial-grade matcha is ground using a stone mill. It takes about 1 hour for this mill to produce 30 grams of this valuable matcha. Each stone mill is made by hand from granite, and keeping them in good shape requires special skills passed down through generations. Only skilled workers can properly maintain the stone mills. This traditional method grinds the tea leaves into a fine powder that keeps the nutrients intact, but it is very slow. The final matcha powder is so fine that it feels silky and dissolves completely in water without leaving any residue. This is a key feature of high-quality ceremonial-grade matcha. Because matcha is ground so finely, 1 serving of matcha is believed to have the same nutrients as drinking 10 cups of regular green tea. Can all tea plants be used to make matcha? Technically, any tea plant can be used, but to ensure the matcha tastes smooth and not bitter, special steps must be taken. The freshly ground matcha is then packed, sealed, and labeled for distribution. The result is a vibrant green tea that is sweet, savory, and full of caffeine and L-theanine, giving you a calm and focused energy throughout the day. Now that you know how matcha is made and why it can be expensive, we hope this guide has been helpful and maybe even made you appreciate your morning cup of matcha a bit more. Matcha's popularity keeps growing around the world. In 2024, the global matcha market is valued at about $3.84 billion, with estimates suggesting it could reach $5.78 billion by 2028. How do you like to enjoy your matcha, pure or in a latte? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button for more tea tips and insights. See you